So you're in your last years of school, maybe the first year of the university. Have you already thought about your future job? How many options are there on your list, if there are any? When I had the same question at a similar stage in life, my only response was that, well, I am a mathematician, I'll be fine. And being fair, that response is kind of okay, especially given that nobody knows the future and given all the stories about mathematician ending up doing some crazy unrelated to mathematics thing. But still, I wish I knew a bit more about the job options, the structure of academia and salaries. Because then I would be able to focus a little bit more on the skills that are actually important for me right now. But before I go into the details, I should say that of course different people are different, have different passions, different life situations, different priorities. All I want to do today is to share some of my own knowledge and knowledge of my friends from the University of Cambridge with regards to long-term future of a person with good mathematical skills. I won't be able to go in 100% of the details, of course, but I will share a substantial part of the knowledge that we have and use right now. Plus, I hope to give you some motivation to do probability theory. So at some point, quite soon probably, you'll be looking for a job or an internship. Just in case you don't know what an internship is, it's kind of a preparation before the job. You're already working, getting work experience, probably getting paid, always less than full-time employees, but you're not yet employed, you're not yet a part of a company for many years to come, not necessarily. And so when you will start looking, you will realize that your options are
a teacher, finance or some industry, research, maybe switching to programming or even
a police officer!
well, there are many more options, of course, including, say, starting your own business. But the options that I have just mentioned, are the most popular according to my knowledge. So let's quickly go through each of them. Teacher. It's a clearly great thing to do by itself, philosophically speaking, though usually not much money involved. And just so you know, it's not only third world countries where the situation with teachers in terms of money is quite bad. For first world countries, at least some of them, the situation is sadly kind of similar. But in any case, if you know the right people and you're a good, passionate teacher, you will get to travel and earn enough. Sometimes quite a lot, actually. Finance industry. Things depend a lot on a company here, in particular pressure-wise, of course, money-wise and community-wise. But in any case, you're likely to be getting clear guidance and help whenever you need. The reason is clear. A company wants to make profit and do want their employees to be good, hardworking, etc. So they do put effort into teaching you if necessary, helping you if you need, etc. Also, there are options, job options, that are absolutely realistic to get that give a lot of money. We'll talk a bit more about this later. Research. First thing is that you better be passionate about it. Research often takes quite many years, and to be fair, often it is quite difficult to get significant progress, sadly. But the thing that is almost guaranteed, I think like in 99% cases, is that you will be surrounded by cool, interesting people that are also interested in whatever you are interested. When it comes to money-wise, it is all quite dependent on the country, very much dependent. And speaking from the UK, I can confirm that it depends here as well. But sometimes you can even earn below the minimum wage. To be fair.
And of course, there are other options. There are many options. You can be startup, theologist, police, quant, doing nothing, anything. I just outlined the three main ones. But I do want to stress the startup one because I really think that is an important one to mention as also as a job option, because being creative, doing something cool, useful for the world, be your own boss, etc. All of this combined is a very cool thing in my opinion, especially at the time when you're a student, don't yet have family, a lot of obligations, etc. And you are still passionate, very passionate, enthusiastic. Whatever the people who suggest to do startups say, yeah. But yeah, of course, it is risky.
Probability theory. That's the thing that happened to be the foundations for many of the nowadays hot topics. Most of them, at least the ones that I know of, are objectively cool in some way. Starting from testing different hypotheses, testing medicine properly, and ending with understanding our world better, at a very small scale though, and even being able to predict the future much better. All of the things like machine learning, artificial intelligence, quantum mechanics, and in general many of the amazing research projects all require good understanding of probability theory. Also, there is a thing called statistics, where not only you need to just know something from probability theory, but also be able to interpret your results well. The combination of the two, probability and statistics, together, well, ideally together with programming, makes a superpower in some way. Well, in a way, when it comes to finding a job and or doing something that has fabulous applications. I realized this later than I should have, and to be fair, in my last years of school, I actually hated probability theory the most. But this issue goes even beyond just my personal story. In fact, most of the school's curriculum, they either don't contain anything about it or barely anything, or whatever they contain or however they teach is quite poor. So sometimes it's even better that they didn't do anything instead. But putting all of these issues aside, let me quickly come back to the finance industry option, the one that I mentioned before, just to give you a better feeling of, like, just a bit a better feeling of what to expect, etc.
The reasons I decided to talk more about this thing are I believe that you already know what a teacher is, what a professor is. Probably some of you already even have some ideas for the research topic that they want to do. B, this video is called Probability, Money, Jobs, and so I want to go into the money aspect a little bit more. Especially given that, for some reason, school pupils are usually not told much about earning money. For instance, how many of them, you can also ask yourself, even know what a good salary is in their country? By good, I mean something like that you're able to afford renting a good flat, that you can eat good quality food, and maybe travel a few times a year to somewhere exotic, something like this. Moreover, we have all been told quite many times that money is not important, or something like this, right? And it is true that money is not the most important thing in the world, and nobody wants to live in a golden cage. I think nobody wants. Actually, many of the people go into the research because of that. I thinking something like, at least I won't end up in a place where I'm doing something useless just for money. But let's recall a few things. First, having money means being able to live comfortably, having savings for an emergency, or being able to support your family. These are the basics for the vast majority of people. Second, many of the researches are actually funded by people with money, somebody rich like Bill Gates, for example. Because money just doesn't fall from the sky, right? And far not every theorem that people proved brought any profit. any kind of money. And third, actually, if you're a good person that ends up doing something, let's say semi-useless, but gets a lot of money, then you are actually able to fund, you will be able to fund some people that do something cool and important yet unappreciated. And or simply you will be able to donate to the right place, and thus contribute quite a lot to the world. Moving on, when it comes to money and salaries, let me Google something to just show you. So let's Google what are the highest paying jobs in the world. I did it and I picked kind of random website, to be completely fair. Well, it says that we found 830 occupations in the United States. That's great. Let's check the United States and let's see what are the positions and what is the number, approximate number of how much they earn a year. So if we check the number one position, so it's ranked number one, it's anesthesiologists, cardiologists, dermatologists, etc. So these are doctors earning $200,000+ in the United States. I know that it's not even remotely close in many other countries in the world. I think the only one that comes close is actually Switzerland. So anyway, but okay, we took this into account. Then if we scroll down to the second place, well, it's 19 here because 18 first are, well, it's 18 times rank 1. Then the next rank is 19, is airline pilots, fair, also 200,000 a year approximately. Then it's well, chief executives, nurses, dentists, pedestrians, dentists, etc. Then we finally get to physicists, natural science managers, marketing managers, financial managers, computer information research scientists. So these are more of a tech and mathematical jobs, and they are not that far. According to this website, this in the United States, it's $130,000 approximately, maybe 140, 150 sometimes. So that is good money. That is for STEM people. I think what is more important for you to remember now is that, well, doctors earn a lot, some tech people earn a lot, which is, I think, already good news, and also the numbers. So please remember these numbers, okay? $150,000 approximately. And let's also check some companies that everybody love, not everybody, but many people love, want to work at. So something like Google, for example. I'm gonna go to Glassdoor. That's a website where you can check for different companies, the salaries, just reviews, benefits, even photos or something, and interview questions, by the way, are quite useful as well. So that's a website that I can recommend, Glassdoor called. Later on, you'll probably find it by yourself anyway. So if we go and check how much somebody like a software engineer earns, so a person from a core of a tech company, clearly a tech company needs software engineers because it's people who program things there. So they earn around £80,000 a year according to this website. Senior software engineer earns like 130,000 a year. Senior means after a few years of working as just a software engineer, so it's just upgraded and more experienced and smarter kind of version of a software engineer. Software developer, know what exactly that is, but it's 60,000. So this is approximately the numbers for Google, top company, super top. Yeah. Let's now also check, for example, Facebook, which is now known as Meta. If we scroll down, we see 100,000 for software engineer and 125 for senior software engineer, which is exactly the same, almost exactly the same as in Google. And they even have this good number here, which is a 60,000 approximately pounds, 56,000 for an intern. So somebody that you could become the very next year or in the 2 years if you just focus and prepare and pass the interviews. So these are the numbers from top companies, and we checked it before the highest. Also, we can just check what are the top some number company paying jobs, in the world. That also would be cool to see. So, for example, according to the same website, we can see what are the top 20 highest paying jobs in the UK 2022. Just in case in the US, United States, or in Europe, I think it will be kind of similar, maybe not in terms of salaries, but in terms of what are these positions. So, number one, chief financial officer, two, executive director, etc. So if you check the first six, these are chiefs or seniors, etc. These are bosses of the company or somebody very close to them. So no wonder they earn a lot. And no wonder this website shows that these are the well-paying positions. And the reason is, well, people like Bill Gates, or maybe somebody close to Bill Gates, Tom Cook, who is now CEO of Apple. These people earn crazy amount of money and they contribute a lot to the average among all the CEOs, right? If you divide a billion, say, by, I don't know, 100,000 people, still it's quite a lot. So no wonder. Then we see medical manager, director, managing partner, technology, managing consulting manager. So these are excluding director, a manager, some kind of managers. And I think that they're at the top because, well, top managers are quite close to the chiefs, bosses, etc. And they also contribute a lot to the average among all the managers. So they're at the top of this list. But to be fair, a lot of managers are called managers, even though they can be sitting in a office for, I don't know, some touristic company in Turkey selling tickets to a ship. I don't think they fill out any details about them, but they definitely are not comparable to, well, chief financial officers, etc. And there are a lot of them and they didn't fill out. So it is slightly biased, I think, here. And I think managers that actually earn a lot are the ones that are top. So anyway, first 11, I would say, are people close to the top of a good company, more or less, and they contribute a lot to the average, and they do earn a lot, which is, I think, fair. So number 12 is what is, I think, interesting. It's called quantitative analyst. So that's the one that I want you to remember, put it in your head, and just think about it. For the future, it will be quite useful. So quantitative analysis and similarly portfolio manager, risk manager, etc. So these are the people who do probability and statistics, usually some programming, which I think you can, like, as a skill, learn quite quickly if you're good at mathematics. So these are the people that are comparable to chiefs, bosses, etc., top people of the companies, even though quantitative analysis is just a position which you can theoretically become in a few years. Some of you, I think, the ones at the university right now, can apply for one tomorrow. You can't apply to become a CEO of Facebook or something, or CFO of Facebook, but you can become a quantitative analyst, say, in a year or something, and apply for this position tomorrow. So that's the one. Also, they didn't put traders in. I think that's because they're hidden somewhere in quantitative analysis things. But in short, people who do data analysis are the ones that do earn a lot. The people who do probability and statistics do data analysis in a proper, let's say, company where they will be called quantitative researcher or something like this, or a trader sometimes. So yeah, these are the people that earn a lot. And I want to confirm from my own experience and experience of my friends that it is indeed the case. It's insane how much it is. And so going a little bit into the numbers. So if you remember, it was 60,000 for software engineer at Meta, and I think that is true according to one of my friends who is in Facebook right now. I think another friends as well. So yeah, so in case of traders, quantitative analysis, analysts, researchers, etc., it is more, much more. It's several times more. In case of some of my friends, myself, etc., it was more than $10,000 a month for an internship. Multiply that by 12, you get $120,000 a year, sometimes $150,000. Some examples I know personally, let's say. Yeah, and it is all very real. Once again, I just want to stress this again, my own experience, my friends, etc. And this is more than whatever we found in the top, say, 30, top second? Well, yeah, what is it, like? Top 30 or top, if you exclude a lot of ones, a lot of doctors, then it's like top 5 or something paying jobs in the world. And that is at the top, basically the very top, excluding people at the top of the company. I mean, of course, like the bosses of the companies. So this option is actually kind of the coolest in some sense for people like you that have good mathematical skills, and hopefully will develop some programming skills if you don't have already, because already at the internship level you can earn more than some senior software engineer at Facebook, and that is real. A crazy example that I know of is starting job offer of $400,000 a year. So the person took a 2 or 4 week internship, a month internship, and then got an offer for that much money. Just so you know. Just so you know when you decide to pick something later. Once again, money is not the most important thing, but something that you should be aware of, and I think it is fair that you know. Trading companies, data analysis, etc., earning crazy, and you should just know about this. And what makes these options, a trader, quantitative researcher, other job options that related to finance special, at least for you, is that for any person with good mathematical skills, the entrance level is not high at all. Compared to, say, becoming a doctor, a good surgeon, for example, it takes at least 12, I think even more years of studying and getting experience from another surgeon before you can become one and earn quite good money, at least in the United States. And in your case, you will be able to apply probably in a year, 2 or 3. Some of you can even apply tomorrow, and you have good chances of getting an internship or something and get quite good money already. So not even comparable in terms of the amount of time spent before you got to that big enough number. Anyway, that is the kind of information I want you just keep in mind. Not the names of the companies, I do not promote anyone here, etc. And if you want, you can just Google them or ask for a list from somebody who you think knows. So to put it all short and more mathematical, I can say that given that you know what I told you about the job options, you will greatly raise math expectation of your salary in, say, 3 years if you focus more on doing probability theory. After listening to all this and hearing the numbers for salaries, you might get a feeling that it's all for geniuses in math or computer science or something. No. Of course, you better be good, but far not a genius. And to prove my point, I would like to share some math questions from the interviews that I was personally going through to get a job in trading, so from this finance world, whatever. Even if you cannot solve all of them, but can understand what they are about, it's already close enough. So let me switch to a whiteboard now. So you see 3 questions currently. I'll show a little bit more. I should note right away that in this video, I'll just quickly show you them to you. You can pause, think about them at whatever amount of time you need. There will be another video that will last approximately 20 minutes where I'll go through them in more details. I'll actually explain solutions, I think, to most of the questions I show. Just to give you a better idea of what to expect, etc. Some of you who are good at mathematics will probably understand that it's not all that difficult. At least the starting point. Of course, these are not the only questions that appear in the interviews. There are much more difficult ones, of course, but still, these are once again real questions, messy, from the companies that I think I applied to, or some of my friends did. So the first question is, what's the smallest integer whose digits multiplied together equals to 10,000? That is not even a probabilistic question, as you should know, just like the second one. What's the next date whose digits are all unique? These are brain teasers. They do appear. That's true. The third one is has at least the word probability. So a 3-digit number is called good if its digits are all in decreasing order. What's the probability that a randomly selected 3-digit number will be good? So yeah, but it is basically combinatorics. So if I were to give you some small hints, just if you decide to try to quickly solve these questions right now, once again, if you want to, you can pause and just think by yourself. and otherwise there are solutions in another video. But the hints go like this. Just quickly we'll mention them if you don't want solutions, just hints. So here it's the answer is not 2, 2, 2, 5, 5, 5, 5. Oh my god, sorry for handwriting. This is not the correct answer here. And the next one, it's basically greedy algorithm. I guess, well, I hope most of you already know it. I'm not even sure it's a hint for many people. And then this one is basically you need to calculate the number of good, so, and number of good numbers is equal to something of the form n choose k. In some countries this is notated as like this, but yeah, this is the most difficult part of this problem. Once again, not that difficult, but this is just a hint. So let's move on quickly. Another question is this one. You can read it yourself, but this one is more difficult. So again, if you want, you can pause. Otherwise, the hint is that it involves math expectation. So a reason to, for example, join Quanta or something else to understand what it is better and be able to solve these problems quite quickly. They are not super difficult, this one in particular. There are, of course, many more difficult ones, once again, but still. And even more difficult one can be found on our Facebook group. Their link is here. And it goes like whatever is written in the Facebook group. And also, if you want, think by yourself. But a hint is that it also involves mathematical expectation, but you need to go through a little bit more difficult stuff. So yeah, that's all I want to do as a part of the whiteboard things. So basically sharing problems, just to give you an idea that you can at least understand them. Well, I hope. And you see that they are not some crazy formulas or some things that only Abel could understand, process, and maybe prove. They're understandable. You can practice for them. It's just in schools, sadly, most of the things are omitted or taught in a way that you'll only get confused. But yeah, plus the questions sound kind of realistic in some sense, which also makes it cool. I mean, you can try many of the questions by yourself, for example, when it comes to flipping coins and checking what's occur more often. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope that some of the information was useful. If you have any questions, please email at hello@quanta.world. I'll try to respond as soon as possible. Good luck!